Thank you. Well, good evening, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you have had a great day so far. My name is Ida Elina or Ida Elina, and I'm here for you and to play some great music on my instrument, which is called the concert kantele, the traditional instrument of Finland. And we have met because we met at the opening ceremonies. And this might be something you remember from the opening ceremonies as well. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, so you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy I belong if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy I belong if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm like alone if you know what happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy I belong if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Here come bad news talking this and that. Yeah, well, give me all you've got, don't hold it back. Yeah, I should probably warn you. might be just fine. Yeah, no offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why, because I'm happy that alone. If you feel like a room without a roof, because I'm happy that alone. If you feel like happiness is the truth, because I'm left alone. If you know what happiness is the truth, because I'm happy that alone. If you feel like that's what you wanna do, bring me down, I can't nothing. Bring me down, my level's too high. Bring me down, I can't nothing. Bring me down, let me tell you now. Bring me down, I can't nothing. Bring me down, my level's too high. Bring me down, I can't nothing. Bring me down, because I'm right along. If you feel like a room without a roof, because I'm happy that alone. If you feel like happiness is the truth, because I'm left alone. If you know what happiness is the truth, because I'm happy that alone. If you feel like that's what you wanna do, bring me down, I can't nothing. Bring me down, my level's too high. Bring me down, I can't nothing. Bring me down, because I'm right alone. If you feel like a room without a roof, because I'm right alone. If you feel like happiness is the truth, because I'm left alone. If you know what happiness is the truth, because I'm happy that alone. If you feel like that's what you wanna do, come on. Thank you very much. So the instrument is called concert kantele, is the national instrument of Finland. If you are interested, please come and take a closer look. It is here for you. So, one of my favorite bands is called Toto, and this is one of their songs, a song called Africa. I hear the drums echoing tonight, but she hears only whispers of some quiet conversation. She's coming in 12:30 flight, with Rumi's wings reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation. I stopped to no man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melodies. He turned to me as if to say, hurry boy, it's waiting there for you. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's something that 100 men no more could ever do. I'll bless the rains down in Africa. Gonna take some Thank you very much. Greetings. So far, there has not been any singing in Finnish, and I think when we are in Finland, you need to hear something in Finnish. So this is one of my favorites. It's a jazz tune from the, I'd say it's from the 60s. Jazz tune from the 60s and from Finland, composed by a Finnish well-known jazz composer, and it's one of my favorites. So it's called The French High Heels. The boy is in love with the girl with French high heels. Here we go. Näin sävel soi askelten ja ikkunassaan poika jo on. Taas katoaa neidonnen, on poika yksin ja rauhaton. Niin tuttu on ääni tuo, sen joka päivä kuulla hän saa. Ei öisinkään rauhaa suo, vaan unissaankin hän odottaa. Hän toivoo, että edes yhden kerran nuo ranskalaiset korot seisahtais. Ja että edes pienen hetken verran tuon tytön hän nähdä sais. Vaan sävel soi askelten, se ainut laulu pojalle on. Oi missä on tuo neidonen, on poika yksin ja rauhaton. Luona puiston portin pieleen, nuo askeleet hän kuuli yllättäen. Hän taisi yhden sanan ranskan kielen. Chérie, hän kuiskas näin. Näin sävel soi askelten, mut yhä kiinni ikkuna jää. Vie poika pois tuon neidosen ja tytöllensä näin viheltää. Ja tytöllensä näin viheltää. Ja tytöllensä näin viheltää. Ja tytöllensä näin viheltää. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, that was a little bit of Finland in my songs, and I'd like to continue with a song from the 60s. I think it's from the 60s as well. My lonely days are over, and life is like a song. At last, the skies above are blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover. The day that I looked at you, I've had a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I could never know. Now you smile, you smile. And then the spell was cast, and here we are in heaven, 'cause you are mine at last. I've had a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a dream that I could never know. You smile, you smiled, and then the spell was cast, and here Thank you. My favorite from the 60s is this next one as well. It's from a musical originally and covered by Michael Bublé and I forgot her name. Well, Feeling Good, ladies and gentlemen. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey, yes I am. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. Yeah, river running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know how I feel, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know how I feel. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I need. And this old world is a new world, and a bold world for me. For me. Oh, stars when you shine, you know how I feel, yeah. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel, yeah. Freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. Oh, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. Oh, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling so good. Ooh, yeah. And I'm feeling good. Well, thank you very much. I don't know how much you are into James Bond songs, but here is one quite recent. is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again. For this is the end. I've drowned and dreamt this moment. So over do I owe them. Swept away, I'm stolen. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall and face it all together. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall and face it all together as sky falls. That sky falls. Skyfall is where we start. 1,000 miles and poles apart, where worlds collide and days are dark. You may have my number, you can take my name, but you'll never have my heart. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall and face it all together. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall and face it all together as sky falls. Where you go, I go. What you see, I see. I know I'd never be me without the security of your loving arms, keeping me from harm. Put your hand in my hand, and we'll stand. The sky falls when it crumbles. We will stand tall and face it all together. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall and face it all together as sky fall. Let the sky fall. We will stand tall and sky
Thank you very much. Thank you. I love Michael Jackson's music, and this is one of his great songs. And by the way, if you are interested in this instrument, you are very welcome to come closer and take a closer look. Be my guest. is close to me at night, and something evil's lacking in the dark. Oh, under the moonlight, you hear the sound. Close our eyes and hope that this is just imagination. Oh no, but through the wild, you hear the creature creeping up behind. You're out of time, 'cause this is thriller, thriller nights, and no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. Thriller, thriller nights, and looking for a life inside a killer, thriller tonight.
Oh yeah.
You hear the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. Oh no, you feel the cold hand and wonder if you'll ever see the sun. You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination. Oh no, but through the while, you hear the creature creeping up behind. You're out of time, 'cause this is thriller, thriller nights, and no second dances, and the thing with 40 eyes. Thriller, thriller nights, and looking for a life inside a killer, thriller tonight. Night creatures crawl and the dead start to walk in their masquerade. There's no escape from the jaws of the alien this time. This is the end of your life.
How's that?
They're out to get you. There's demon closing in on every side. Ooh, they won't possess you unless you change that number on your dial. Now is the time for you and I to cuddle close together. Oh yeah, and through the while, I'll save you from the terror on the screen. I'll make you see that this is thriller, thriller nights. Girl, I could thrill you more than any ghost would dare to try. Thriller, thriller nights. So let me hold you tight and share a killer, thriller, thriller, thriller nights. Girl, I could thrill you more than any ghost would dare to try. Thriller, thriller nights. So let me hold you tight and share a killer, thriller tonight.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. I will give your ears a break from everything else except the sound of the instrument. So now the sound of the instrument only, and this is gonna be one note samba, my ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, if you are wondering what this might be, I will tell you it's the black keys of my instruments. All of my white keys are right here, and my black keys are this ones. And I have some special effects on my instrument as well, because obviously I've got drums. It's not a very usual thing to have on your instrument on this kantele, but I love drumming, so that's why I have it. So, this is going to be one note samba. It's a very tricky piece with a lot of these black keys. I don't ask you to count them, but there are many. All right, one note samba, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. We have come to the final song of the Kantele playing tonight, and this is the song that I would love to finish with. I know it's Finland and we don't get very dark here. Luckily, in the summertime, we should come here. Wintertime, it's a whole different thing. But I'm sorry about the cold and little rainy weather. We usually have a little warmer here, but I really hope you have enjoyed Finland so far. So good. But when the evening falls and when the night falls, this is the perfect song for that. But as for myself, I would love to thank you all. Thank you very much, and have a very lovely end of today. This is going to be Stand By Me. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Ooh, stand by me. Stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Ooh, stand by me. Stand by me. And now listen. If the sky that we look upon, hey, should tumble and fall, all the mountains should crumble in the sea. No, I won't cry. I won't cry. I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Oh, darling, stand by me. Oh, darling, stand by me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So is that on? So, ladies and gentlemen, she's disappeared, but can we give a huge hand to our concert Kantele player, Ada Elina? Thank you, wonderful. Where did she go? Wonderful. Could I just have everybody's attention for a moment? Shh. Shh. Whoa. Shh. Can you look round in a disapproving manner? Shh. Wonderful. I only call you to attention because we've got something fairly special just about to happen on stage. So if you are out of sight line, you may like to come towards the stage here, because we've just got a little bit of excitement to share with you. So draw yourselves towards the stage. That would be fantastic. You can bring a glass of wine or whatever with you. That was fantastic. Thank you so very much. That's great. So if you'd like to come in nice and close to the stage, keep coming, like a pop concert. Okay, that's brilliant. So, just for a few moments, if I could have your attention, please. So, universal, the sound of silence on World Environment Day. It's coming. If you can just sort of look around and give that one of those sort of to die scary looks to anyone. There we are. That's lovely. So, what I would first of all like to, I hope you are enjoying yourselves and the Block Festival at Helsinki. Glorious midnight sun somewhere out there. We did actually order it, but it's a day late, so stay on tomorrow, because it's going to be a cracker tomorrow. But, if there are two people I'd just like to invite on stage now, two people whose drive and passion around the circular economy has been an inspiration, but also are leading organisations that have pulled this whole show together. So I'd love you to put your hands together with unbridled enthusiasm and whooping for the director of CITRA, Mari Pansar, and the chairman of the World Resources Forum, Mr. Zava Edelman. Welcome. Fantastic. I know from the final briefing that was sent out that it's illegal to kiss someone from Finland, but I've taken the liberty. So, both of you, fantastic. We're having a party at the end of day one of our World Circular Economy Forum, the first ever forum. You had a dream, you had a thought. I just love your comments on your sense of how it's going and whether what you imagined is now happening in this event. And just before we get the answer, sorry, lovely, that's beautiful, fantastic. So maybe first to you, Mari.
Thank you, Peter. So how am I feeling at this moment? I guess that was the question. So I must say that I have many different feelings in my head and also in my heart at this moment. And the last couple of days or weeks, or I could say even months, have been very busy especially for the team. But I think that we have done at least okay work here. So I hope that you have enjoyed. And at this moment...
More than okay.
Okay, that's more than okay. Yes, and at this moment I'm feeling very excited about what we have been discussing today, and especially excited having you all great persons taking part in the first World Circular Economy Forum. So it is really an honor for CITRA. And then, of course, I'm grateful for standing here with Xavier, because it was almost 2 years ago when we started to plan to have this kind of forum in Finland. this year, 2017, when we are spending or celebrating our 100 years birthday. So it's great to be here, and at least I got a lot of new ideas what to do in future, and I know that now my team is thinking that no, not anymore, Mari, but we are going to talk about those.
Okay, fantastic.
My feelings. Good evening. I have feelings of emotion and inspiration. Inspiration, the gift which gave us Sitra. And I think we should thank to Sitra, to Finland, for this gift. We should also congratulate to the 100th anniversary of Finland and the 50th of Sitra, and I beg you on my big hand.
And we are but halfway through, or not even quite halfway through, our World Circular Economy Forum. If you had a message to drive us into day two, what would that message be, apart from get an early night? Have a think.
So tomorrow we have a very important day, because tomorrow is the day when we are starting to change the world. So that will be my message, and I hope that we all can make a joint plan at the Allas pool party later in the evening or early next morning.
My message would be connecting people like you to make the improvements which are necessary. It's a big network which can do it.
Fantastic. Well, both of you, we pay tribute to you for your unceasing efforts to promote resource efficiency and the circular economy. We hope you feel you are sitting on a great success story. We're having a ball, and thank you very much for enabling this to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, our two key people. Oh, right. We got a final message, which is about your heart. No, a final message.
A final message. One planet first. Not one continent, not one country, not one institution, not one person. And I think we have a big potential for better collaboration. And we are looking forward to seeing you in October 24 and 25 in Geneva at the World Resources Forum. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you both. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you. So, what I'd like to do is to see whether we can all come a bit closer, and people from Sitra, if you've got a way of drawing the people who are in another world in here, that would be great. So, if you're in the middle of a conversation, hold that thought. If I could encourage you to come right forward, there's space around the front. So, it's my version of pumping up a Helsinki bicycle tire. So, but just for those of you who are thinking, I'd like a conversation, can I offer you two thoughts? One is, join us, because the best conversation is happening here, or alternatively downstairs, there's plenty of space. So just for us, for a moment, if we can have attention on the platform, that would be gorgeous. Because what I would like to do now, I'm delighted to welcome to the platform, to offer us a perspective that no one else in this room has had. Someone who not only has been a scientific specialist, has been involved in NASA, has been on space stations, has looked back on our fragile planet Earth from out there, but maybe has done some thinking in the process, that it wasn't just a happy journey up there and a happy journey back, but actually it offered her some extraordinary perspectives. It's also my great pleasure always to welcome a former NASA astronaut, because that means they're still alive, which is fantastic. Please give a huge, rousing welcome to the platform to offer some thoughts, Katie Coleman. I Hi there.
Thank you so much.
Okay, off you go. So, Katie, here we are. They are there. I'll go at the back and cattle prod the loud ones.
Okay.
But great to have you with us.
WCEF, welcome to Spaceship Earth. When you see this is a picture that was taken actually by my crew, 3 of us, in a small Russian capsule, 3 people, looking back at the space station that we had just left, we had just been living on for 6 months. So there's only 3 people on this entire Earth, or off of it, who have ever seen this site. It's the only time we've taken a picture like this, and that is a picture of the space station with the space shuttle together. And the reason I show this slide first is that I want you to understand just a little bit about the view that I had, and the fact that when you look down at our Earth and you see the whole planet, it's very, very clear that our Earth is a spaceship, and that we are the crew of Spaceship Earth. So what I'd like to do, and I promise to be only less than 20 minutes, is just to show you what it's like to be on a spaceship crew, because as crew together, I don't want you to learn the same lessons that I've learned. I want to share them with you so that you can apply them to what we're doing here today. You might ask, what is an astronaut doing at a sustainability circular economy meeting? And this is me with my space shuttle crew. I flew twice on the space shuttle and once on the space station for 6 months. And that's not the end. I mean, it might be my last voyage, at least for a little while. But exploration and going to Mars, we had some problems to solve. And the solving of those problems, things like we need to recycle all of our water. We need to recycle our air. We need to think about the design of the things that we bring with us so that when we need to make something else from them because we develop problems on Mars or on the way to Mars that we haven't anticipated, that we are ready to reuse, recycle, repurpose. Is this sounding a little bit like a circular economy, but for space? I mean, I'm very proud of the fact that I've done work in exploration, and yet it has so much meaning right here on Earth for sustainable Earth. And I think you'll see that in our next slides. The way I got involved in the forum here is through the Launch.org organization. NASA's chief technologist, we formed a partnership with NASA, the State Department, USAID, and Nike. Very unlikely partners who all want different things. And that's exactly why it was magic, and it still is. Because we would gather innovators, we would accelerate them and really help them for about 6 months and see what does this innovator who had such a great idea, and if they succeed, it's meaningful for understanding the system, and if they fail, that's meaningful as well. And just today, Launch Nordic, which is part of Launch.org, announced a new challenge, which will be very familiar to all of you, and that is there's a challenge to gather innovators who are going to make changes, big changes, in the system of designing and manufacturing goods for our planet, and I'm hoping for exploration as well. So here's a space station, my space station, your space station. It's an international space station with total, there are probably about 30 or 35 countries involved. The main players are Europe, Canada, Japan, the United States, and Russia. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. So we all learn to speak all sorts of languages, especially Russian and English. Now, before you feel badly for me, that I lived in such a small place, if you took this picture and you overlaid a soccer field or an American football field over it, the space station would fill that football field. So my mother felt really bad for me being up in this very small, cramped place, but it's like 10 train cars all strung together. And except some of them are up and some of them are down, it's a lot of space, and that's without the seats in there. So it's really a lot of space. Let's see. Oops, and I just pushed my little button a little bit too fast. I just have to go back here. See what you guys have. Okay, here we go. So this should be a video coming up. It's about 4 minutes long, and I'll just narrate it. We'll see if it's actually thinking of coming. There we go. And I don't know if we could have the lights down just a little bit here. I don't know if that's hard to do, but if it's easy to do, I think it's nice to see the videos this way. So this looks like animation, but it's an actual movie. I'm trying to see where I'm not in your way. It's an actual movie taken by the space shuttle as they came to drop off a new piece of the space station. And this is Paolo and I and Dmitry. We're getting ready. This is where you can feel bad for me, okay? This is the spaceship on the way up. It's the Soyuz, the Russian Soyuz. And so you see just a little bit of practicing, of getting ready. We're signing the door of the place that we stayed in Baikonur. And we're going through with different traditions. The Russians have a priest that blesses you. I'm saying goodbye to my family. My family is behind the glass. That's my son, who's now 16, so he kind of hates this picture, right? And we march out. We all agreed we would speak slowly. We would walk slowly and take small steps. And then we were a little nervous for launch. This is us walking out for launch, climbing up the ladder into the smallest, most terrifying elevator you will ever be in. And then I am right inside that rocket with Paolo and Dmitry. Paolo's from Italy, Dmitry from Russia. This was December of 2010. My 10-year-old did actually ask me if I could wait until after Christmas to go. Waving. And I will tell you that there is nothing like this feeling of being in a spacecraft, launching from the Earth. It lets you know that it's just so very hard to do. But there we are, up on the space station. This is my favorite scene of the whole movie, because this is what life is like. And I want you to really think about this, and I'm going to show you some experiment video as well, but the flying through the space station, not just floating around, but flying through the space station and is one of the things that's magic, and it's because it's just different up there, and we get to look at life a little bit differently. And then my challenge, and I have very good space hair, you'll see there. And we actually made these cranes, these white cranes, origami cranes, because the Japanese tsunami happened when we were up in space, and our Japanese partners had just sent up their supply ship. And so this is very much an international cooperation, not just of the 6 crew on board, but down on the ground there's mission control in Europe, in the United States, several, in Japan, in Russia, and all those people are making decisions together every single day, and that is not easy. And to do that, and that's really what I'm hoping you will glean from this, that as the crew of Spaceship Earth, you're going to have to do things that are hard for you. And you're going to have to be 2 things, I think, in terms of working out collaborations that I think you see are essential to make sure that everyone understands that a circular economy is part of the way of life that we need to have. And that is, you're going to have to be open, and you're going to have to be brave. And I think you'll see a little bit more about that in just a minute. And one of the ways that we get to do that that's a little bit easy is that when you're in a place where everything is flying around, including you, then it's really easy to realize that you have a very special vision, a very special lens in which you see the world and you see the work that you're doing. And I think that we here today at the first annual World Circular Economy Forum is that we have a vision. We see a place, we see a way of life that is different than others can see, and then the question is, how do we share it? How do we share the fact that we realize there's a different world that most people don't see? This is a giant, this is part of the future, is humans and robots working together. The robot is the one on the left. That was Scott Kelly. Scott was an astronaut who spent a whole year up on the space station. And that's a medical experiment that we really need to understand better, is what happens to people up there. I'm going to show you a little bit of the science, but this is a little bit of what it looks like to fly through the space station, to do daily things together. Look at our kitchen table there. Do you see how that is sort of at a slant? That table was horizontal for 10 years until Paolo Nespoli, my crewmate, got up there as an Italian who has a certain kind of vision in terms of how things look and feel and the importance of design. And that table was horizontal, and it was right at the middle of the space station, where when we would fly through, all of us had bruises on this hip on the way there and on this hip on the way back. And until Paolo figured out, okay, kitchen table, it needs to hold our stuff which we're going to have to use duct tape or rubber bands or something anyway. So it doesn't matter whether it's horizontal because nothing's going to stick to it. But if we make it be sort of diagonal, we still have a place to gather and talk about our day, even when we don't know we need to talk about our day. and we also have, and so it gives us a place to gather, and we're not getting our bruises. So it's really, and I think different people have important kinds of vision. I think you know about doing spacewalks. I mean, this is what you think of. It's not what we do every day. There's robotics. So these are skills that you think about with astronauts, you know, that we're going to learn how to work in spacesuits, that we're going to learn to work robotic arms. And sure, we do. But I will tell you that the most challenging things that we do involve doing other people's experiments. And this is where there's some trust involved. But it's really fun. But this is just to show you, you know, why it's so interesting up there and what it's really like to work in a microgravity environment when you can't hold on to everything. Now, if you're a new innovator, can you hold on to everything? I don't think so. And so you have to learn to trust, you have to learn how to organize, you have to learn how to let other people help you. Up there doing these experiments, we're using our lens, the fact that we have a new way of looking at things, that when we get to find out what do liquids really, really want to do. And so liquids are very different up there. This is André Kuipers from the Netherlands. And he's reflected in that water there. So it's important to understand here on Earth what do liquids want to do, because there's so many processes that are affected by that. Everything flowing through a pipe, maybe oil recovery in soil, anything to do with small, tiny little liquid spaces. Let's see. And so this is really what liquids want to do. And so the fact that we have a different lens, it gives us different information, and we have to figure out how to share that and how to make a difference in processes down here. This is fire in space. We try not to burn things except on purpose. And you notice how that was round? So our candle flame is round, not tall, because those lighter gases are not rising because everything is weightless. So we get to learn about combustion because it takes things longer to burn, and they burn in a more peaceful, quiet way. Measurements that have to be made on the ground in less than a second are made over 30 or 40 seconds. We learn about crystals. They grow more purely. So these are all things that we can't do here on the ground. We do them up in space. We learn about ourselves, about bone density. We used to lose a lot of bone density. Basically, we lose bone faster than a woman who's 70 years old who has osteoporosis. What she loses in a year, I lose in a month. So it's very fast. That's bad news. The good news is that makes it really easy to measure, and I become a giant experiment, right? Which I'm very, very willing to do. And the even better news is that it allows us, with that different lens, the fact that process is faster, allows us to understand osteoporosis better. I myself came back with all of the bone density that I left with. Doesn't mean my bones are the same, and in fact, they're certainly changed, and we'll find out what that means. I get a physical every year for the rest of my life, courtesy of the United States government.
These were specially designed plants that had
and then this is looking into growing plants on the way to Mars. Certainly we want to have food,
back home,
and we want to have food that lasts longer than 3 years. We need to learn how to grow it, just like here on Earth. We need to understand how to grow plants in places where that is really hard to do. And this is Shell. And so we've gone from, on a mission that I did in 1995, learning how to grow plants in space, to a mission that I did in 1999 where we were beginning to be more sure. And now in 2016, we are actually eating lettuce on the space station. Good news for Mars, but good news for planet Earth as well, in terms of learning lessons about how to grow things. Okay, let's look outside. And this is where I really want you to think and listen. And this is the hard part, and this is the lecture, okay? So this is our space station looking out at the Earth. And so we're kind of up, and the Earth is sort of down. It was a very cloudy day down there that day. And this is our observation point. This is the cupola, this set of windows where we can look out. And until a couple of years ago, the space station only had windows that were like portals. And so in order to see out of them and see maybe Hawaii or Fiji go by, you'd have to know exactly when to look, and then it would be going pretty fast. And so it was really something not very easy. Now we have the cupola, and we can be up there. We have windows all around us and on top, and you can see someplace that you love and you know, or someplace you're discovering. You see it coming, and then you're right there, and it might be home, and you really feel like, I'm home. And then you see it leave in the distance. And so having a vantage point, having a view, having a perspective that other people don't have is very valuable for us. Now, when I have that kind of view, a big view, I just have this feeling like I must be somewhere very high, like on a mountain or on the top of a tall building looking out. But let's think about it. Space station, Earth, that window has to be on the bottom, right? We're actually looking down, not up. And it was something my head actually never got over. But I want you to think about that change in perspective. It's wonderful when you're up there to see places that you love and you know. And this is Scandinavia. You can see Norway in the top, and Denmark on the bottom there, Sweden in the middle, and where the clouds are, sorry, that's Finland. Okay. But I have more, okay? So this is now Finland, okay? And this is Finland with the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis. But let's get back to that perspective for a minute. This is one of my space crews. When I got up there were 6 of us up there. Scott Kelly on the right. There are three Russians, and there are 2 Americans and 1 Italian. And I just showed you all this science that can't be done anywhere else. And I will tell you that every single day I woke up feeling like every minute was imperative because I was on this crew. It was my job to do these things, and every single data point that I took was one more than we had the day before. And we have a luxury in the space program, being part of a 6-person crew, to realize that if you don't do it, or if you don't help the person who needs to do it because it's not something you're good at, but you know that they need some help, if one of you doesn't do it, it doesn't get done. And that's really what I want to really say to you, is that we've got important work to do, and it's going to take some bravery, it's going to take some openness, it's going to take, acknowledging that everybody is individuals. I'm a flute player, I'm a musician. Satoshi is somebody who was good at a lot of the experiments. This is kind of a video that shows just living in space a little bit, but I wanted to show you more people so that you realize that there's a lot of different kinds of people that go to space. This is Mike washing his hair. A little easier for Mike, but hey, I will tell you, nothing wrong with washing my hair. Only took about 2 minutes longer. Sleeping in our sleeping bags. They're usually kind of hooked to the back cabin there, and that way you don't float around. I'm kind of small, and I would sleep all curled up, and I didn't always have it hooked up. And then in the morning, you'd wake up and you'd realize that you're actually looking like at the bottom of your computer. And you figure out that you were just in a completely different place. So this is that window, that perspective of looking out at the Earth. Things moving differently. It is magical to move up there. It is like living the life of Peter Pan. And there's a video you can look at on YouTube. It says splitting hairs in gravity, and a friend of mine shows how you can take one hair from your head, pull it out, and you can use it to push yourself off, and you could move yourself across this whole hall with just that force. Now this is Satoshi, who loves baseball. But everybody was busy doing experiments, so Satoshi had to be the whole team. He bats, he catches. All this and keeping yourself together, Oops. And a little music. And this is a little bit about, I showed you this, partly to show off. I'll admit that, okay? I'm a flute player. This is with Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull. I brought his flute to space. And we played a duet on the 50th anniversary of human spaceflight. He was in Russia. I was on the space station, and that's the first time that this duet was played. And I think it's a very human thing to be doing something that humans just do. You could show up in the Stone Age with something that made noise, or a whistle, or a rock and a drum, and you could show up and you could jam in the Stone Age, right? Because there's some universal understanding of what music really means. So let me see. So now back to that perspective. Do you see me in this picture? Well, so now look at this picture. Do you see me better now? I'm going to go back. And it's really just about perspective. You know, one is upside down and one is right side up. And you need to learn how to look differently. And that's what we've already worked together for a day. We've heard a lot of presentations, but there's still a really big day of work to go. And it's going to take learning to look at things from a different point of view, in a different way, realizing that you think you see everything, you think you see everyone, but really down on the bottom you see Tracy and Stephanie. And then up on the top, well, we're not really sure exactly who that is, but now it's easy to recognize that it is Dottie and Naoko Yamazaki from Japan. So learning to look in a different way, because I'm hoping that I've made it clear that the work that we were doing up in space was essential. It was imperative, and I think that exploration is imperative. Well, so is sustainability. So is taking care of our Earth as the crew of Spaceship Earth. And that's why our mission is so here today and tomorrow, and when you get home, which is the hardest part, is so very, very important. I think that you need to, when you're working in groups, when we get invitations to talk to the people next to you, you know, don't just ask them about what they do for circular economy. Ask them about who they are. Ask them about what they like. Ask them about their families, because it's really the whole package that comes together to make a team. My husband is an artist, and so when I went to space, I brought some. Ironically, he makes planets. He was making them a dozen years before we even met, but then I did actually have to marry him, so I would have presents, right? But I think there's real value in acknowledging that it's not, it's so much a mixture of disciplines, especially when we try to do the work that we're doing here for a circular economy. It is about artists. It is about storytellers, people who tell stories, whether it's with songs or books and words or with voices. If you can't tell the story of what your idea is or what we're all trying to do, then it's not going to get done. So just realize that there are so many different kinds of perspectives that are important in making up your team and appreciating your team. And it takes realizing that, you kind of have to give up a little bit of control. You have to be open to other people, and you have to be brave. And one of the brave things I think has been already happening here, I've been listening to some of the conversations, is where somebody just, comes up to somebody they don't even know, maybe you're both looking at the same thing, and you say, I do this, maybe it's useful to you. How do you know it's useful to them? You don't, but you have to be brave, and you have to sort of come out of your shell and realize that the reason to be brave, for me in space, it was really, I think, we have a luxury in that it's clear there's only 6 of us and nobody else is going to do it. It's not so clear here, and it's not so clear when you go home. And there's all these things I think that will be clear to you, that this is the next step where I work or where I'm doing this. And when you get back, somehow it's a little bit harder to explain to everybody what happened here. And that's where the hard part comes in, where you just have to remember that you are the one that has the vision. And the frontiers, pioneers, I think, are the people who actually look out and they see, they explore, they're on the edge, they're going forward. They are the people with vision, but they're also the people that get to see the things that no one else has seen. And they have to bring that story back so that everyone can come with them. So we'll just finish up with a few pictures of the Earth and places that at least, there's the United States, there's Long Island, New York City, the Hudson River, Massachusetts, Cape Cod. I went to space with a guy from Massachusetts, that's where I'm from, and he looks down, we saw Massachusetts for the first time together, and he has a big Massachusetts accent, and he looks down and he goes, "Oh my gosh, it looks just like the map." So I think that really shows that exploring is important. So for all of us, as the crew of this spaceship, now, just look at this picture for a minute. Here's Italy, indeed shaped like a boot. And I did fly with an Italian, so I always have a picture of Italy. But just when you're looking down and you're seeing this in this picture, realize that you are looking at our planet. On this planet, at the time this picture was taken, everyone I knew and loved was down there, and everything I knew and loved was down there. And I took all of your pictures. right? You were there. At one point or another, you were in one of my pictures. I guarantee you. I took 60,000 of them. And so looking down at the picture, at the Earth, in this picture here, realize that that's the spaceship, planet Earth, and it's the only one that we have. Some places are nearer and dearer. Here's Finland, still cloudy. But here's more Finland, actually. There's Helsinki in here. It's a beautiful, beautiful, amazing view. And now coming back to Earth, it's beautiful down here too. And that's why we're here. I mean, I really love the view that I had, but I love being part of the view. I love being home. This would be the Finland view, right? But actually it's Massachusetts, so I have my fair share of snow and ice. It's a beautiful, beautiful place that we have. I'm so very honored to be here with so many people of such great vision. And I'm saying all those big words because they're true. And I think you know that they are true. And as the crew of this spaceship, you know, even though we have ambitions to go further, to go to Mars, and we will go. I've had several people ask me that. It takes time. Doing some of the things we need to do are good for exploration, good for getting to Mars, and also good for spaceship Earth. And we've got other planets out there. We don't know what they look like. But this is our planet. And this is what we're here for. And I'm very, very honored to be working here with you. And I'm very excited to see what happens from the first annual World Circular Economy Forum. And everyone after that. You are the crew. And I wish you good voyage. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie, we thank you so much. A visual feast and journey, an intellectual journey, and maybe a journey of the soul as well, because around all the work we're doing, maybe there is something inside us that is driving us towards something different, something better. So thank you for sharing that inspiration with us. Whilst we're all together, in a moment, the stage is going to change, and I'm hoping that a guitarist is going to join me. Is there a guitarist in this house? There is. Oh, okay. Okay. So whilst you're all here, one domestic announcement. We're about to have some wonderful guitar playing and a bit of performance, but after that, you have a choice. This is a very significant choice for you. You can either gently go home and lie on your hotel bed like you often do, and tomorrow wake up slightly diminished, or you can join the party that we're having down in the Alice Sea Pool right by the front in Helsinki. Round about 8 o'clock, there are going to be some buses taking us down. There's plenty of space that's not in the rain. You can jump in the water if you want. You can relax, but it's the Helsinki place to have a bit of fun. Katie is going to be there, possibly. Well, I could do. Okay, well, that's a great question. I've had a former astronaut say, do you want to... Anyone got a question? Wow. No is the answer. Because they haven't got a microphone. But I would like to ask a question. I'll just ask a question, just whilst this gentleman, just interested in the world of NASA. Obviously, wow, going up to space is great, but there's also a lot of scientific research going on. Is your sense that the real value of that research, for example, looking into agriculture and all sort of things, that's really continuing and thriving, or is this a moment of challenge?
I would say in terms of looking at our Earth with scientific instruments, those instruments are already in space. They're taking pictures and spectra, and that's not going to change because they're already there. And there's a lot of data available. I'll say the first challenge is to go ahead and use the data that's already coming. And I don't see it changing anytime soon. Thank you, Peter.
Okay, well, we wish you well and NASA well in its ongoing activities. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I could just have your silence for one more moment. Shh, because what I would like to do is to introduce you someone who is one of the great exports from Finland, a great guitarist, a great entertainer. We're delighted to have him with us this evening. Please give a huge, unusually raucous welcome to Petteri Sariola!
Well, thank you so much. Wow, there's so many of you here. Wonderful. So, hi everyone. My name is Pete, and I play the guitar. First, I just have to make sure that my guitar works. So, wait a minute. Let's see. Yeah, that's okay. I can do with that. So, I will start with a song that I call Prime. And I used to do this with my guitar. And my friends told me, hey Pete, stop doing that, because what you're doing is wrong. But I didn't stop. I just had to keep going on. And I'm glad I kept going on, because now I can play here in the World Circular Economy Forum. So, this one is called Prime. Thank you so much. Maybe you noticed that I play the guitar in a little bit weird way, and there's a story behind it. So, when I was a small boy, about this size, I wanted to be a rock star with big hair. But naturally, that didn't go so well, and I had to start out with classical guitar. Oh yeah! Until my brother showed me how to play rock and roll and blues. And then I was in high school and I saw somebody playing the bass like this. And then I had an attitude. I wanted to get friends and I wanted to get girlfriends. So naturally, I wanted to form a band. Well, as you can see, that didn't go so well either. So I had no choice. I started to hit my guitar. So I dug out a drum set out of my guitar. At first, I found my kick drum. And then hi-hat. Okay, and snare. Everything is in the right hand. There's no looping. It's all live. But yeah, I think we still need some bass. We're not gonna get far with only drums. So let's see if I can play some bass on top of this. Oh. Maybe some rhythm guitar. Okay, we got the rhythm guitar as well. But we still need that long-haired rock and roll singer on top of this. Seems like I have to take care of that as well then. Let's see, I have to open my voice. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the way I became me. Thank you so much. Thank you. True story. So, I was made in '84, thanks to Mom and Dad. They were very kind. A lot of cool things were made in '84. Also, this next song, but this next song was not made by my mom and dad. This song was actually made by Mr. George Michael, so rest in peace. You put the moon into my heart, you send my soul sky high, and your loving touch jitterbug into my brain. It goes up and bang bang till my feet do the same. But something's bugging, something ain't right. My best friend Yep. Wake me up before you go, don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go, I don't wanna miss it when you hear that. Wake me up before you go, 'cause I'm not waiting on your solo. Wake me up before you go, and take me dancing tonight. I wanna live that. You take the gray skies out of my way. You make the sunshine brighter than a darkest day. Turn our brights walk into a flame. And my beats burning and never be the same. So my lady, offer me your food. It hurts so much when you look so cruel. Come on, baby, let's not fight. We'll go dancing and everything will be alright. Ooh, wake me up before you go, leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go, I don't wanna miss it when you hear that. Wake me up before you go, 'cause I'm not waiting on going solo. Wake me up before you go, and take me dancing tonight. I wanna hear that. I wanna hear that. Tomorrow night it's cold out there, but it's warm in bed. They can dance, but we'll stay home instead. I think it's time for the official drum solo. Wake me up before you go, don't leave me hanging like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go, I don't wanna miss it when you hit that. Wake me up before you go, 'cause I'm not planning on going solo. Wake me up before you, oh, let's go some Coldplay. Maybe some take that as well. Put it down there. Whatever I did, I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Hey, take me dancing tonight. Ooh, I wanna hear that. High. Thank you so much. So, I'm a huge fan of space exploration and cosmos, and it's such an honor to perform here after Katie Coleman, and it's just so humbling to meet that kind of person making such important work. It's truly inspirational. And so please, I hope she's somewhere around here. It's a huge honor to welcome back her on stage. Please give a warm welcome, Katie Coleman. So, we're gonna play something really easy.
Okay. If you promise it's easy.
Yeah, I promise. And the song is actually called Easy. Easy like a Sunday morning. Perfect. Okay, so let's see. First I have to start my inner drummer. So let's see. A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, oh! I know it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Yeah. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. Girl, it seems to me you know I've done all I can. And I begged and stole and I borrowed. Yeah. Ooh, ooh, that's why I'm easy. Like a Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like a Sunday morning. Wanna be high, so high. I wanna be free and all the things I do are right. Be free, just me. Here comes the tricky part. I have to play the drum and the bass and the guitar solo at the same time. Yes, I'm easy. I'm easy like a Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. Ooh, I'm easy like a Sunday morning. Oh, Katie, take it away now. That was beautiful. Oh wow. Like, I'm not lying. I was crying at the side of the stage while Katie was doing her presentation. That was so beautiful. One love. And talking about one love. I want to play you a song I found years ago at 3 a.m. in a karaoke bar. It was a long night, and suddenly this song just spoke to me. Sing me, Pete, sing me. And I did it, and it just felt so right that the next morning I started making this arrangement of this song. And if you feel like singing along, you're most welcome. I'm sure you all know this one. I have climbed highest mountains. I have run through the fields only to be with you. That's right. Only to be with you. I have run, I have crawled, I have scaled these city walls, only to be with you. Yeah! But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I can hear some beautiful singing coming over here. Here we go! I've kissed hard lips, felt the healing in the fingertips that bring that fire, spurring desire. I've spoken the tongue of angels, and the hand of the devil is warm in the night. Cold as a stereo. You go. Oh, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I believe in the kingdom come, and all the colors will lead into one, lead into art. Yes, I'm still running. You broke the bond and loosed the chains, buried the cross and all my shame, all my shame. Oh, you know I believe it, yeah. But I still haven't found who I'm looking for. One more time. But I still haven't found who I'm looking for. But I still haven't found who I'm looking for. Wow, thank you so much. So, have you had a good time here? All good over there? Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. You're making beautiful work here, work that makes a difference. So as a last song, even though you might have friends you want to talk with, food you want to eat and everything, I still want to finish with a beautiful song here. A song by the Beatles. This was a song that my mother used to listen to when I was a baby boy. And actually, today is my mom's 63rd birthday. So happy birthday, Mom! This one's for you. Song by the Beatles, Blackbird. With a little bit of guitar tuning. Almost there, almost there. There we go. Oh wow, I really dislike tuning the guitar. But if I don't, it's gonna sound terrible. There we go, that's it. So, thank you so much for having me here. If you like my music, you can just put Petteri Sariola on Google and you'll find tons of fun stuff. And I have a new album coming out this year and everything. So, well, thank you so much. Thank you, sir. So, I hope to see you again soon, maybe in Finland or somewhere in Asia, Europe, or States. Thank you.
In the dead of night, take these fucking wings and learn to fly. Oh, your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night, take these fucking wings, let us see. Oh, your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of the dark like a night. Take these fucking wings and learn to fly. Oh, your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening and see you soon again.